project. He headed up the resource recovery team. So the story I tell people is one day we had a 2-hour session with bond counsel. So we were ready to go out on a $98 million bond issue, I think one of the largest the town's ever done. Yes. So 2 hours of intense with the bond counsel. We're ready to go to the market and come out of that exhausted. And my secretary walks in and says, Gordon, there's a elderly citizen out here who needs to talk to you. I said, okay, what's the problem? Her neighbor's dog is pooping on her front lawn. And she is really adamant. She wants somebody to talk to the neighbor and get this stopped.
That is town government.
And I said to myself...
but it is truly a pleasure to be here today to help celebrate the 150th anniversary. And I also have to give kudos to Mary Cat Stone. Where is she? For a great job she always does. Never lets us forget the history of the town of Avalon.
How can I add any more to what Kevin says, excepting that I also work for Kevin McCaffrey too.
And I would just say that, you know, for me, the 10 years that I served here in the town of Avalon as a town planning board member, as a town board member, serving with my colleagues who are sitting up there, is really the highlight of my professional career. This is a great, great place. I don't think...
Very important. As a village, a small village, I have to say I brought my hat today in honor of Ralph Scordino. Just, he could not be here today, but another great village mayor. What you guys do for the people, you really truly do it for the people, which is what is great with village government, town government, and legislative government, state. And doing it for the people is what it's all about, whether it's picking up dogs on the lawn, or trying to keep their taxes and getting the most for their tax money. It's what it's all about. Anyway.
3 idiots who had a Ranger jersey at the Belfast last night. I walked out alive. Sean knows, he saw me there, and it was not a good night. But this is a great morning, and we are so honored to have been invited to be here and to celebrate the 150 years. There's nothing more to say. I think everyone has already said it. But I do want to point out that what Dennis said earlier about the partnership that you guys have provided with us, Mr. Supervisor. Every time the villages need something, you guys are always there for us, and we do. We always joke, and I think Terry and I always joke about this, that if Washington would learn what we learned in Babylon, we might get stuff done there. Yes.
Town of Babylon, and all the villages to it, and we love it. That's what makes it all so special.
1982, which was at that time considered March 25th was Women's Day.
Right.
And I always thought that was an omen for me personally, because I love this town. From the moment my family moved here, this became our town. And I think mostly everybody who's here this morning feels exactly the same way.